What's the closest I've been to death? When I was in Syria, I accidentally lit my truck I was driving on fire while we were driving. So, in an MRAP... Nah, you're good, man. I like telling stories. It's the whole point of streaming, right? Yeah, go ahead. Feel free to ask questions. Yes, how'd you do that? Yeah, I'm getting to it. So, yeah, so I don't know if you guys know anything about military vehicles, but I was the passenger of an MRAP. M-R-A-P. MRAP is like an armored minivan. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like an armored minivan. And, so I'm the passenger. The passenger's the guy in charge of the vehicle. And, I gotta jump when I throw this thing. Or can I whip it? No, that didn't work at all. Fuck. So, I was in charge of the vehicle. There was 2 vehicles in the convoy. So, I'm in charge of the whole thing. And so I'm like literally the most senior guy out there. And under the seat, there's this little lever. And I didn't know about because I had never ridden in these vehicles before. It's like my first time. And
be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Just passed through, but good luck. Try launching rocks at the chain of the bridge. Followed, hope to watch another stream time. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, Lucky. Hope we catch you again. So there's this little lever under the seat that I didn't know about. Because it was like my first or second time being in those trucks. And then I hit the lever with my foot because it's under your foot and I didn't notice. And after I hit it, what it does is it closes the valves that release air to the air brakes. So if there's no air going to the air brakes, once you hit the brakes and let out all the air, the brakes will lock up. So the brakes ended up locking up, obviously, because there's no air getting to them to like refill the air brakes. And we ended up driving like 10 miles with locked brakes. So imagine you're like driving, you have your brakes, you're holding down the brake pedal the whole time you're driving, and it's just like scraping up the brakes off the brake pad and off your wheel, right? So that's what's going on. That was going on for like 10 miles. And then a local police pull up next to us and they tell us to pull over because we don't know what's going on. You know, we don't notice it. Like, inside the truck, it's so big and loud and shit, you can't really tell that the brakes are locked up. And so we didn't know. Wow, that's right. And then they are like, yo, pull over. So we pulled over. And I get out, I'm the only one who gets out, and I look, and the wheels are on fire. And I'm like, oh, that's not good, right? You know, wheels are on fire. It definitely wasn't in the plan. So then I go to the back of the truck. The back of the truck has this big door, like double doors, that you open up. So I go to the back, and I open the double doors, and I'm like, hey, the truck's on fire, give me the fire extinguisher. And everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck did you just say? And I'm like, hey, the truck's on fire. Give me the fire extinguisher. And then some kid like realized what I was saying. Hand me the fire extinguisher. So I'm on the side of the road. Both my trucks are pulled on the side of the road in Syria. ISIS is around. And I sprayed the bottom of the truck with the fire extinguisher until the fire was out. And then we're sitting there and I'm like, well, this isn't good. We probably can't drive this truck anymore because it was just on fire. And the tires are like burnt and there's like, you know, they're all fucked. And then the fire lights up again because it was so hot. So I sprayed it again. And then I was like, all right, everybody just hold tight. So I handed them back the fire extinguisher. They closed the doors. And then I called up on the radio. I'm like, yo, my truck was lit on fire. Send somebody down here to come get us. So we're like literally like on the curb, and there's not enough room for a curb, especially I was driving like monster trucks, they're huge. We're just sitting ducks out there. And they're like, yeah, it's gonna be like an hour and a half before somebody gets out there. So we turn the trucks on and we drive them into this field that's like kind of off the road so that we can like tell if somebody's gonna come try to hit us. Because like somebody could have just drove into us. And like 30 minutes into our wait in the field that we're sitting in, we get another call from like a boss of mine, and he's like, hey, intel, like intelligence guys, just found out from insider sources that ISIS knows that you're broke down, and they've sent out guys with explosive vehicles, so like cars that are gonna come explode, and they're gonna come attack you. And we're like, oh, great, we can't drive away because the truck's fucked. One of the trucks is good, but there's not enough room for us all to get into the other truck because they're like filled up, so you can fit like I don't know, like 7 in each truck, and each truck has like 7 in it or like 6. Like we are almost maxed out. Like you couldn't put all the other people in the other Vic. So we're just sitting there, and oh man, I remember it was so funny. So we got told, the amnesia view is making it so dramatic. Yeah, so I thought it was hilarious because, like, you know, whatever. But we're looking at the highway because it's just like two, you know, one lane this way and one lane this way. It's, you know, it's a highway. It's the only major road in the area. It runs all the way through northern Syria into Iraq. And, yeah, it's the major highway. So we're sitting there looking at it, and we have this black dude who's like the medic. He's a Navy corpsman, and he's in the back, and he's freaking out. He's losing his fucking mind, and he can't see the road from where he's at. Only like me and the driver can see the road, and the gunner. Just like a gunner and the turret, like standing up, looking out the top of the truck. So we're all looking at the highway, and this dude, we'll just call him Jeff. Jeff is freaking the fuck out. He's losing it. As soon as we told everybody that ISIS was coming to get us, he started bugging out. He's like, I don't want to fucking die in this metal box. It was hilarious. And then we were fucking with him because every time like a truck drove by, like a Toyota, like, you know, the classic, you know, fucking, I forget what the Toyotas that all the fucking terrorists drive. And we're like, oh shit, here it is, it's coming off the road. And then like we would like hype up like the truck was coming to get us, but in reality like it was just driving by. So this guy's like, and he's freaking the fuck out. It was, oh, it was amazing. Watching this like 230-pound angry, normally like super masculine, angry black guy shitting his pants in the back of the truck because we were telling him he was about to die. Yeah, it was, oh my god, it was so funny. But we sat there for an hour and a half, and then nothing happened, you know. Well, the only thing that happened was these kids came up from this, like, there's like a fucking farm like right there, and these kids from the farm came up, and we had this like local dude in our truck with us. I don't remember his name, but he was like a Syrian, and we're like, hey, can you do something about these kids? So this Syrian jumps out of the truck, and he doesn't speak English. We're like, hey, can you fucking tell these kids to fuck off? And he jumps out and points his fucking AK at them, and the kids all run off. That was hilarious too. This kid's like in these kids' face. There's like 5 kids. This Syrian points an AK in like 5 kids' faces. They all run away. That was outstanding too. And then he gets back in the truck, and we're just chilling. We're just like drinking Rippets and shit. You guys know what Rippets are? Like the energy drink. Just like waiting to die, because we think ISIS is coming. You know, making our peace with the world. And then my buddy shows up with 3 other trucks. So they bring this big, like extended tow truck, and then he's got like 2 more trucks that have like space in them. So we offload all of our guys into his trucks, and then the tow truck hooks up onto the truck I was in, and then we all just drive back. And then we get back and we're like, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. The air brakes locked up and the truck lit on fire. We don't know what happened. And then like a week later, they're like, yeah, whoever was in the passenger seat of that truck, it's his fault. They hit the lever underneath the seat and locked up the air brakes. And then it was me. So then everybody was trying to be mad at me. And I was like, motherfucker, you didn't know about that until they just told us. Like, we all learned about that together right here. So don't try to put this shit on me, because you didn't teach me about it. Like, if I knew about it and I did it, then it was my fault. But, you know, don't try to... They were, like, trying to, like, get me in trouble and make me, like, responsible for it. I'm like, motherfucker, I didn't know, and neither did you. So you can't be blaming me for some shit. And then eventually I got out of it. Yeah, that was, you know, we were told ISIS was coming to get us, but I don't know. They never showed up. They pussied out. I almost drove off a cliff one time. So we were driving on the highway. This is like a month later. I'm in charge again. Tell ISIS what? Yeah, the curve of a line. Yeah, tell them to fucking use the quadratic formula to come fuck my ass up. Bunch of pussies. But anyways, we're driving down the road. There's two trucks, and I'm the head guy in charge. And there's this bridge. Don't waste all your stories. Well, I'll just tell this one. There's this bridge, right? And we always thought we were gonna get fucking killed on this bridge. Like, because bridges are terrible, but you have to drive over it to get where we're going. There's only one road, and you can't go around it. Like, so we gotta cross this bridge that's like 30 feet over this river. So if anyone was to ever blow up the bridge while we were on it, we'd fall 30 feet in a metal truck and then drown. So that would be awesome, right? That's exactly what I had planned for today. But this one time we're driving up to the bridge, and this car like swerves in our lane, and my driver like swerved around it, but almost went like off the side, and he like barely made it back onto the bridge in time. So we were almost like ran off the road into the water, and we would have fallen like 30 feet and then drowned. But my driver was like the best driver in the country, so he was another Marine. He was like the best dude, and he saved all of us that day. Yeah, but ISIS never actually attacked me. They just said they were coming and then fucking pussied out.